Hi. I wanted to share with you guys this morning a little bit about our perspective and our outlook on life during this time. It can feel like at the moment everything's changed and how things used to be are no longer the same. But I wanted to look at what our views are and how we perceive and look at things during this time and during this season. Some of you may have noticed I've actually filmed this video in a darker room at the moment, and the quality doesn't look quite as good as the light isn't shining through as well, and it just looks a bit darker and a bit duller. However, if I now change and move the curtains and just bring in some light, suddenly the picture looks quite different. Suddenly it looks a bit sharper. The picture looks a bit more full of colour. There's a light shining through. You can see a bit more clearly. And what many of us may not have even realised at that point when I was sat in the darker room, you might not have even noticed, and your eyes will have just adjusted to viewing the video in that format, viewing the video with that quality and in that darker room. Yet once we now change it and bring the light in, it's like we suddenly notice what we're missing. And I wanted to challenge us, and I've noticed particularly now that it gets darker at later on. So sometimes I can be sat in my room for a longer period of time and the sun gradually sets, and I've not even realised until someone's come in and switched on a light that actually I've been sat in darkness for a long time. And I wanted to challenge you this morning that how are we looking at circumstances? How are we looking at situations? Are we allowing God's light to shine into our situations, into circumstances? Or have we allowed our perspective to be dampened? Have we allowed our perspective to be dulled down? That for a long time we have allowed negativity, we have allowed bitterness to come into our lives and darken our views, darken our perspectives, and we've not allowed God's light into those circumstances. And for a while now, when we look, we've not even noticed that we're looking at the life and we're looking at circumstances with a darker view. But I want to encourage you today to bring God's light into circumstances, to bring God's light into situations. That once we look through that perspective, suddenly our picture changes, suddenly what we see changes. And so I wanted to encourage you with that this morning, and that you can bring God's light. And I hope you have a blessed day and a blessed week.